Connor, just can you give me your sense of kind of where the group is at?
Once again, my teammates come up short.
Still, I love the look on his face. All right. We're doing these honest press conferences where we are saying the things that the players or anyone involved really would wish they could say. So we're going to start with Mr. Anthony LaRocco and his boy, Adam Pelech.
So we're going back home, tied up 1-1. We're 3 wins away from going to the Stanley Cup Final. And, I had my coming out party, fellas. Pierre McGuire, after we beat Boston in Game 6, interviewed me. He said I'm one of the best shutdown defensemen in the National Hockey League. And Elliot Friedman the other day called me elite. I'm Pelech. I shut down other teams' top players. Brayden Point, Nikita Kucherov. See what happened in Game 1? You guys enjoy that? You're not seeing anything against me. Yeah, last night, Game 2, you guys had a little bit more success. But, we were on the road. So, Trotz split up, sometimes split me and Pullock up. So, one of us were on the ice at all times. So sometimes I was playing with no adoption last year. He's just a youngster. Sometimes I have to, cover for his mistakes. So back home at the Coliseum, when we're paired to Pajot, you guys aren't going to get anything on me. And, I'm a restricted free agent this summer. About 4 years ago, Gar Snow signed me to a long-term deal. At that time, I was nobody, and I just kind of took the money. So I took the $1.6 million over those 4 or 5 years, and now I'm ready to cash in this offseason. And I expect to be paid as one of the top defensemen in the league because, I am. And the Norris Trophy, I hate how every year it's given to a player, who also was really good offensively. Norris Trophy, best defenseman in the league. I should get some credit too. Yeah, I don't put up the points, but, defenseman, what are you supposed to do? Shut the other team down. And I do that with the best of them, fellas. So, watch out for me. I'm going to keep being dominant in this series, and, I'm going to hoist the Stanley Cup. I'll take some questions.
Adam, so if it comes down to keeping the team together and getting your payday, what's more important to you?
Oh, I love this team. I love the boys. But like I said, I just kind of took a contract just to make some money because, like I said, I wasn't proven yet, and now I've proved myself. So I want to keep this team together. Last year we lost Taser in a trade because we needed some cap space, which was unfortunate. But, there's some money to go around. They value me. They know how much important I am. They'll move some other guys to keep me in the fold. I don't want to see that happen. And I'm not going to go and ask for like $8 million here, but I was just making 1.6, so I expect to make at least what Pulley's making with $5 million. I think that's more than fair, and hopefully they can keep the team together with that amount.
Thanks, Adam.
No problem.
Adam, I'm not going to ask you about last night because that was just rough for you. But I will ask you this. So do you think you could actually be Rod Langway and just win a Norris Trophy with not much points scored?
I think I can. Sure. But unfortunately, the league these days, it's goes to guys who are flashy and put up points like Cale McCarr. Guy skates like a thoroughbred, puts up a lot of points. Is he really that great defensively? I mean, he's average. He's not the best defensively, but he's still up for the trophy because he puts up the points. So, it's unfair, but it is what it is. I'm just going to keep playing my game. And hell, maybe one day the league will introduce a trophy for a defenseman that's really just all about playing defense, not necessarily the points. That's another good idea. If that happens, I think I'd be a candidate decent amount of the years. So I'm not really concerned by it. I mean, I think I should get some more recognition and maybe win one day, but it's out of my control.
Well, Adam, thank you very much. And by the way, they should come up with the Gretzky Award for the most points.
Bobby Orr Trophy. That's what I've been saying for years.
And the Bobby Orr Trophy for the offensive defenseman. Well, we're going to move on. We have to talk to the New York Rangers' brand new head coach in Gerard Gallant, who is Mr. John Filkowski.
This is huge for me. I've wanted another chance in the NHL for so long. I'm more than happy to be here. I'm absolutely ecstatic to be here. I'm in a big city. I'm in a big market. This team hasn't won in 27 years. I know a coach named Mike Keenan that came along years ago and led this team to victory. And I'm telling you right now, I'm going to do the same thing. May not be next year, may not be the year after that, but you give me some time, the players are here. The right pieces are here. We may have to add a few to really get to that next level, but I'm going to make sure that these guys come out hard. They play hard. I'm not going to lose the locker room like the guy before me did. I don't want to say too much bad about David Quinn, but I can tell you right now, I've got the resume to win this. I took a team in Las Vegas that wasn't even a team when I took over there, and I became their first head coach. I took them to the Stanley Cup Finals in their first year, and they didn't even have the roster that they have now. There was no Max Pacioretty, Mark Stone, or Alex Pietrangelo there. I took them to the finals with Nate Schmidt as one of their best defensemen. Shea Theodore wasn't the defenseman that he is now. You know what? I can make a lot out of nothing. And you know what? My boy Yogs, coached him in Florida, comes out, gives the vote of confidence, tells everybody basically how we do it. I give the guys a little bit of a leash. I let them be creative. I let them go out there. Guys are going to make mistakes. It happens. Errors are a product of being a human being. And you know what? They're going to get their chances as long as they go out and they play hard for me. I'm telling you right now, we got the pieces. We're going to eventually win. Hop on the wagon. The time is now. I'm here, and I'm here to stay. I'll take questions.
I'll go. I guess I'll go first. Actually, I forgot my question now. Anthony, go ahead.
Coach Gallant, just wanted to bring you back to Florida when you exited. I know there was some media coverage over that. They kind of just unceremoniously sent you out the door, and there was that shot of you getting in the cab, and people saying how they sent you out was kind of classless. And what were your thoughts on that? And do you hold any ill will against the Panthers for how that ended?
I don't hold any ill will against the players themselves. I love the players. I still have a good relationship with Johnny, with Alex, Vinny before he left for Carolina, Aaron. A lot of those guys there are my guys. I love those guys. I hope nothing but the best for them, except for when they obviously play us. We're going to run you guys over when we play you guys. So, with the management itself, that wasn't the best way to do it. They did what they did, but there's a new group up there. I don't really know too much about the new group. So no, I don't hold a whole lot of grudges with them. But I'll say this: I used it as fuel to motivate myself to be a better coach, and I went to Vegas in that first year, right after they fired me, and they took them to the Stanley Cup Finals. So, I mean, if you want to say who's laughing now, I was definitely laughing then. But you know what? You gotta learn as a coach, and that was a learning experience. And I'm gonna make sure that I get my hands on that cup, that I'm lifting that cup up in New York. You guys, like I said, get on board, get on this wagon, because I'm taking these guys there. We've got all the pieces. We're gonna get it done.
Gerard, you've actually had a lot of success with other organizations. My question actually is, you were hot commodity this year, and was the Rangers number one on your list, or were there any other stops you thought about going to? Detroit, perhaps, or even maybe Toronto if they fired Sheldon Keefe.
I didn't hear anything about Toronto or Detroit. I took a couple of interviews with Columbus. That's another organization, completely different unit at the top from the last time that I was there, when they let me go, probably about 14 or so years ago. But the Rangers were number one. I actually took my first interview with the Rangers the day before I left for the World Championships. I guess you could blame me for being the reason why we started so bad at the Worlds 0-3. But once I really got my head into it, and I want to apologize to the players for that. But once we really got into it, we got everybody buying into the system, and goes to show you, I know it's the Worlds. I know the best weren't there, but when you have a group that buys in, that's what happens. You can get those types of results from teams. St. Louis was dead last in the NHL in January of 2019. And what did they do? They bought in and they won a Stanley Cup. So you know what? You buy in, that's what happens. But honestly, listen, I've got a lot to offer for this team. I really do. I've worked my ass off to get to where I was, and this Ranger interview meant more to me than anything in the world, and that's why I took it the day before I left, because I wanted this. I wanted this opportunity. I wanted to be number one. If you win in New York, you are immortalized. Look at Mike Keenan. Mike Keenan could walk on the street, and somebody would offer to buy that man a beer. They would pay for his dinner. Look at Mark Messier. He's a messiah. They literally call him the Messiah. He's a god in New York. He's revered. I want to be revered like that. And it not just because of free meals or anything like that. I want to be the guy that brings this team its 5th, its 6th, its 7th, whatever, however many Stanley Cups we can win in my time. So I'm ready to win. The guys are ready to take those next steps. It's going to be a process. But you know what? We're going to do it.
All right. Gerard, thank you very much.
You're welcome, boys.
All right. And our last and final one. Oh, my God. This is going to be a lot of improvisation. But I am Stephen Walkom, Director of NHL Officiating. All right. Look, so it's kind of been a rough postseason for us. I'm trying my best to instruct the guys to, make the right call at all times, and notice the little things on the ice, like how many people are on the ice, for instance. Make sure you count them. If you count over 5, then that's too many, and you probably shouldn't, let another team score, or that team score a goal, because it then gets a little bit of controversy after that when it's being shown on every single sports channel for the next 24 hours. So then there's also calls if you shove a guy into the net, clearly it's on the guy who's going to run the goalie, but it could be, interference. I don't know. I mean, certainly, to be honest with you, I'm doing a much better job than Department of Player Safety, George Parros. I mean, he still doesn't know what the word safety means. So, at least, nobody's really been harping on me too much, but, I'll just take the questions. I think that's the best thing for me to do. Just take questions. You probably have so many.
Steven, you mentioned this postseason. This has been a trend for a long time. And anytime that you guys are called into question, teams are fined for it. There's no accountability for you guys. You guys have nothing to answer to. You have no one to answer to. So what's going to change, and when is it going to change?
Well, here's the thing. We took the finest officials that were legally blind and put them on the ice so that way they could make sure that they missed several calls, like the Dwight King interference. And then the coaches have the audacity to throw my refs under the bus. Guys like Tim Peel. I mean, what do you expect? You're gonna have Bill McCreary and Andy Van Hellemond and Terry Gregson out there, or maybe even Kerry Fraser. Kerry Fraser spent so much time on his hair that he didn't have to worry about calling the game right. I mean, after all, I've seen people throw stuff at him at Madison Square Garden, and he was, that hair never moves whatsoever. So I welcome somebody to just think that they could do my job, but the truth is, you're gonna call my officials under the bus. I'm throwing you under the bus. Don't be criticizing. Don't be a hating just because you're Bruce Cassidy and you can't get a goal against the Islanders. Oh, and the Islanders just keep scoring on me, so it must be the officiating. I mean, look, the Islanders are clearly innocent angels. They're saints. It's just what they are. So I don't think it's going to really change much, because in our eyes, which couldn't see the arena, even if the arena was right in front of our faces, we don't care.
Well, thanks, Steven.
Yeah.
So, Steven, I have a question in regards to last night's game between the New York Islanders and the Tampa Bay Lightning, and I'm not referring to the too many men on the ice penalty. My question is, do you train your referees to have an eye out for when a player is embellishing and for them to punish them for it? Because there's two instances. One, last night, Anthony Beuvillier had an infraction with Kucherov, and Kucherov acted like he just got punched in the head by Evander Holyfield and did a total sell job, and Beuvillier got a penalty, and yet no one says anything to Kucherov. And then also in the third period, Andre Palat fell, and then he was laying on his stomach, and then once he didn't hear a whistle, all of a sudden he acted like he needed a stretcher, and then there was no whistle. He got up, actually got the puck, and gained zone entry into the ice and continued to play for another 30 seconds. So clearly, he must not have been all that tricken up or hurt. So how come the referees don't see these things and give these penalty players for being a bitch and embellishing?
Well, I think it's actually very derogatory to call them a bitch for embellishing. I mean, some of those guys could be really hurt. A lot of those players, I mean, I've seen a lot of tough players that never would embellish, like PK Subban and Tomas Plekanec. Guys that, I mean, Nikita Kucherov looked like he got hit by it. You don't know how strong Anthony Beuvillier is. He could be like the Hulk. You don't like him when he's angry. So what happens if he hits Nikita Kucherov and he's hurt? I don't know about that. We were trying to crack down on divers a few years ago, and it started working a little bit, but then we got away from that, and here we are again, the same exact spot. I mean, look at what happened to Kucherov in Game 4 versus Florida. He took that whack from I forget which player it was at the moment, but when he went down like a sack of potatoes, it was terrible. It was I really felt for the guy. I mean, some of these guys, they might really be hurt in that moment. They might be hurt. I mean, it's sort of what they tell you in acting. It's feel the moment and get in there and actually experience it. And sometimes that's what they do. And you know what? Maybe their feelings were hurt because when they were down on the ice, they called him a bitch, and you're like, get up, you little bitch, and that's offensive. That is offensive and derogatory, and that's something else we need out of the game. Soon, we'll start giving out 2-minute penalties for that as well.
All right. Well, thanks for your time. You're terrible.
All right, thank you. All right, that actually went better than I thought it was going to go. All right, that was some of our honest press conferences. What do you think about Adam Pelech saying he should go for the Norris Trophy? Gerard Gallant ready to raise the Stanley Cup in New York, and a Stephen Walkom and all officials kind of terrible this year, and the year before, and the year before, and the year before. So, on to our editorials, guys. Did you like that video? Of course you did. So why not check out some more of our content? You can check the playlist right here or right here.
Your ideas are intriguing to me, and I wish to subscribe to your newsletter.